I'm going to be tying the Mylar spoon fly. I tie it on a 34007 Mustad. You can use that or the equivalent. The signature hook by Mustad is good. You can tie them as small as number 4 comfortably, and going up to 3/0. You could even do it on the 34011, a longer shank hook, or most any hook. This is just my preferred hook. I like the Flymaster Plus by Danville. Also, we're going to weight it. There's 2 ways of weighting it. I used to do it with the 0.015 lead wire, and that you wrap around a hook. And recently I've gone to the it's a 1/8 inch wide lead strip, and I get that from Cascade Crest Tools. 20-pound hard mason is good for most of the hook sizes, till you get down probably below 2. I hadn't tied a 2 in a while, so I'm not sure what size I use on a 2. But 20 pound is perfect for the 1/0, 2/0, 3/0 even. And then of course Mylar tubing. I tie a bunch of these, so I have it set up production wise, and even if you're tying a dozen, just you make your measurements and then cut all your materials firsthand. I have it marked on a board here. My Mylar tubing for size 1 to 1/0 is 2 1/4 inches long. The weed guard is about 2 3/4 of an inch, and the 0.015 lead wire is about 1 3/16, and strip lead, 1/8 inch strip lead is 7/16 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these materials, and then we'll get started. Take your Mylar tubing and remove the core from it. Just kind of work it out. Makes the tubing a lot easier to cut to length. And you could take this core material and tease it out and tie streamers with it, or chop it up for dubbing, or throw it away. Okay, this is the extra large tubing. It's has the core out. Let's see what it measures. I believe when you stretch it across like so, it measures about 3/8, like so. I'll take the Mylar tubing after clipping the ends off, the unraveled ends, and just lay it on the board. So you go ahead and cut a bunch of these up. A longer scissors is better. Let me show you about that weed guard, about the length you want it. Usually tie in a weed guard somewhere around the hook, above the hook point, and you want it to extend where it can go up through the eye when you tie it off and finish it off, where you have about half a hook gap between the hook point and the weed guard going under the hook. Okay. Make about 5 wraps. Okay. Now you can attach your lead. Let's do the wire lead. I'll show you how to do the wire lead first. Tie in the wire lead, make about 8 wraps. Kind of untwist your thread there to flatten it out, and then wrap it. It should wrap around 5 times. Okay. And then you just wrap over your lead like that. Okay. Now for the flat lead, you want to take, I guess, about that much, a quarter, and then bend it back to about the halfway point. That'll give you a little extra lead in the front, and then kind of squeeze the end and flatten it out to make the thread easier to smash it down. We're putting the lead in the front here to help keep the nose of the fly down when you strip it. With the cup shape of the spoon, it's going to have a tendency to plane up on you. So if you have the weight up in the front, it'll kind of keep it down, but it's not going to nose down. Wrap over that thread like the lead like that, and then take it over you between your hook point and the barb. Unspin your thread, untwist it, let it lay flat, and then you tie your weed guard in. Make consecutive wraps where they're touching each other, and you want to take it down into the hook bend, and then do a half hitch. Okay, after you do your half hitch, so you take your tubing and slip it over the eye of the hook, and holding your thread taut. Let me see if I can turn this way a little bit. Hold it taut, you just kind of draw the thread back towards your taut, and then work it into the Mylar tubing. Maybe about a quarter inch, between a quarter and a half inch, extending past. And you want to line up where the thread comes out the Mylar. You want that to be under the hook. Pull out some thread and make 2 loose wraps around the Mylar, and then try and position it, as I said, with the thread coming out about in the center of the Mylar tubing, and position it where these loose wraps are over where your half hitch was, and then go ahead and pinch it top and bottom flat, and you want to try and feel the hook shank with your fingers through the Mylar, and have about half of the Mylar on each side of the hook shank. Kind of pinch it on your side, because it's going to draw the opposite side in sooner. Kind of like if you're doing a married wing fly or something. You draw the thread to you, and it draws the Mylar, pulls it into the hook shank like that. Then you go ahead, pull these frayed ends out, and secure it down, advancing your thread further into the hook bend, about 6 or 7 wraps, and you can even pull it down even where it should be, which is about 1/3 of the way into the hook bend. Then go ahead and whip finish that off. I like unspinning my thread a little bit since I just wound it tight. You don't want it so tight when you wind it though, to go back a little, where you're going to risk popping it. And just half whip finish here. About 5 or 6 wraps. Draw it up. And pull it tight. And cut your thread off. And you do this, you do a bunch of them like this. And after you get those done, what you're going to do is take your flush cutters and come in and cut this excess off. Any excess material you have on the back of your hook is really going to impede the action of the spoon wobble. Okay, so that's ready to be epoxied.